Did we fix it? Is there audio now? Let me know if there's audio. Is there audio now? Is it fixed? Someone let me know. Should be fixed now. There it is. Alright, cool. So we're just going to have a little fun. I did a real stripped down set. There's no agenda here. We could talk about absolutely anything at all. Anything. Nothing is off limits. Anything is possible. Live your dreams. Anything you want to talk about, let me know and we can get into it. We can kick it around. We're just going to have some fun and hang out for a little while. And I'm going to share this link over on Facebook. This is the same show that you're watching right now, except it's on YouTube. And everybody here on Facebook, stay right where you are, but just share this link for me and get this link out. This is the same show, but over on YouTube. And that way we can grow my YouTube channel. So we can be doing a little bit of something for, the cause while we're having a show. But hey Jennifer, hey Helen, hopefully Helen's still here. I tagged a bunch of people because I didn't share it at all. And I'm not gonna. Like you can. I want you to. I hope you do. But I'm not gonna because I just wanted to do a no stress, laid back feed where we talked about anything you guys want to. Some stuff that I had set aside just in case we didn't get very many comments. I have some stuff to bail and go to. And I have a little bit on my mind to start us out with, but we're going to talk about anything you want and just hang out. So I thought that'd be fun and a way to draw some attention over to YouTube while we're doing it. So share that YouTube link if you want to help out with the show tonight and help us get out to more people and grow our YouTube to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there. We only need like 46. Like, James was saying earlier, we only need 46 to get to 1,000. So we're almost there. So share that feed out and share this feed out if you're here on YouTube. But hopefully Herbert and James are still here. James says we're 5x5 now. Good. Good to hear. I'm sorry that I didn't have that set. That was my fault. That was my fault because in the stripped down studio, I forgot to add the microphone. But we're there now. Sorry, my ear is bothering me. I was doing a lot of editing, so I was wearing headphones, and my ear is bothering me. I was working on a video. It's real interesting. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it, so don't ask me to get too far into it. But it's on the Jasons, and that is fascinating stuff. That is probably going to be this coming Wednesday's Conspiracy Theories and Chill video. But it's really interesting, and I've been working on that. But I haven't settled on a final topic. So if there's something you want to see covered on Conspiracy Theories and Chill, let me know. And I would be glad to get into it, because I'm always looking for topics and ideas and things to cover. Like Herbert gave me an idea of something to cover, but it's very in depth. It's very detailed, and I've been looking at it and researching into it, but there's so much. So it's more something I can bite off in a week. That's what I do each week on Conspiracy Theories and Chill. But I'm working on things like what Herbert was talking about with this Corey Good stuff and this secret space program stuff. It's very interesting. I'm working on stuff like that. It's just that's long form and in the future. And we're going to do more of those videos on the YouTube channel. So subscribe. Come over to YouTube and subscribe if you like the feeds and you like the shows we do here on Facebook. You will like it. Hey Herbert, you're here on Facebook too now? Helen says, what's the Jasons? The Jasons are a secret organization. They're a secret society that were originally started by Eisenhower. And you got to promise me you'll watch Conspiracy Theories and Chill if we talk about the Jasons. if we get into the Jasons, when I cover it on conspiracy theories and chill, you got to pretend that you just saw it for the first time. So everybody here has to pinky swear right now that they're going to watch the Jasons episode like it was the first time they ever saw it when it comes on, because I'm going to make a video and everything, and you're going to share that and stuff. We'll talk about the Jasons for a little while because it's very interesting. The Jasons were a secret society that was formed, brought into being by Eisenhower, and he wanted them to research everything. So, all information having to do with UFOs, aliens, but anything, all technology, all information. And they were originally called, man, I got to look at my notes now. It was originally called Project Sunrise, is what I want to say from my memory, but my memory is garbage. But always it comes through. You know, I say that it's garbage, but watch, it's going to be Project Sunrise. But I only say it one time in the video, so I forgot it. Yep, Project Sunrise. I should trust myself. I don't know why I don't. I'm going to pinky swear myself right now to trust myself more moving forward. But Herbert says Corey Good stuff is deep, man. But the Jasons, they are a secret society that Eisenhower put into play. He established this real, and they get funded by the government. That was what made me want to do it into a video is actually finding out that it's real, and we'll get back to that later on. But I'm going to tell more of the story right now, just the story of who they are and what they are. So what they were when they first started, he selected 32 of the top scientists in the country. Okay, all of the top scientists. A lot of these scientists they actually used during building the atomic bomb. I went blank on the program what it was called when they built the atomic bomb, but they used them during that, and they brought them over to this experiment or this project rather, not experiment. But this was a group of 32 scientists when it first started, and they were in given the task of finding out everything, all knowledge, researching all technology, and all even lies, even myths. They were tasked with going and looking at all of that to gather all their information they could about aliens, about UFOs, and they even had some agendas. Let me just pull. I'm going to pull straight from my notes. So it was formed in 1952, and they were also had the task of giving recommendations to the government about extraterrestrial life as well as making plans for potential alien invasions and encounters. And like I said, it was originally called Project Sunrise, but later, and this is kind of an interesting side story that we get into in the video for a little bit, is a wife of one of the original members thought that the name Project Sunrise was too plain. So she suggested Jason as a tribute to the story of Jason and the Golden Fleece from Jason and the Argonauts. And like the Golden Fleece would represent the truth, and these Jasons were on a search for the truth. You get it? So, but there's also a lot of symbolism in that meaning we can get into later on that William Cooper used to focus on a lot. So that's where I had first heard about the Jasons. But he talked about, and we talk about this later on too more, is that he focused on the alien side more. I focus on the fact that these people had free reign of information and technology. Because when I hear the word UFO, I don't automatically think alien. You know what I'm saying? UFO could mean alien, but really all UFO means is unidentified flying object. It doesn't necessarily mean alien life. So when Eisenhower tasked these scientists with researching everything about UFOs and technology and all of that, they are talking about, they're not just talking about aliens. He included that. That was part of their task, but it was not just about that. So that interests me more, that this organization of scientists, the secret society of scientists, that are entitled to all this information, and they have the ear of all these governments, including our own, but they have ties to others. Like five of the members of the original Jasons, and there was only 32 now, were Council of Foreign Relations members. Five of them. So there's a huge presence in an organization that has ties to the New World Order agenda, and there's other connections to Illuminati type stuff with the Jasons. But what I found interesting is while I was looking into it, what made me do the video was I found out that they're real. And like I said, we'll get back to that later. But the Jasons are behind different programs in the government that you have heard of, like Star Wars and submarine warfare, and also predictions about the greenhouse effect. Most of the information about that is supposed to have come from the Jasons. And then they did something when they tried to erect a invisible wall during I don't know, hopefully it's in my notes, but it didn't work. Um, but they tried this in like, when was it? Oh, I can't find it. It's in here somewhere. But tried to erect a wall, an invisible wall, not that long ago. It was, you would think, okay, that may be something, wow, they could do that today. No, this was like 30 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, they said they had erected this wall. I don't remember exactly when. I'm probably messing it up because I've lost it in my notes. I'm looking at 7 pages of notes right now. And you know how when you're scanning through something and you need a certain piece of information, it's the one piece that is falling in your scan every time you're missing it. But the Jasons are responsible for a lot of government uh, plans. And there's these recommendations in particular that I thought were quite interesting. There's Alternative 1, Alternative 2, and Alternative 3. Now, Alternative 1 is a plan that is to use nuclear devices to blast holes in the stratosphere from which the heat and pollution could escape into space. These are all plans of what to do if there was an alien induced catastrophe that was threatening the Earth. But they did that during Operation High Jump. Like I found a lot interesting when I was looking into this. Like when I read Alternative One, I immediately was like, well, that happened. They tried to do that. Well, that's weird. And then Alternative Two is to build a vast network of underground cities and tunnels in which a select representation of all cultures and occupations would survive and carry on the human race, and the rest of humanity would be left to fend for themselves on the surface of the planet. And that's currently in place. That is already here. We already have a vast underground network of tunnels and basically cities underground. Herbert asked if I've done a show on the Philadelphia experiment. I did a brief video on it once, but it's real old, and I could definitely go into it again. So we could do that coming up. Hey, David, I think pinky swears were invented by the Rosicrucian prerogative. I hope not. I don't want to align myself with them. Well, let's see. Herbert says, dang, I missed out at 33. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Herbert. You always do that. You throw me off. But let me see. Uh, James says that he's buffering. Manhattan Project. Kilo says Manhattan Project. I'm sorry, guys. All the YouTube comments just popped up. Like 10 comments just hit my screen. James says he rebooted. Is it better now, James? James is having buffering problems on YouTube, and I don't like to say that during a commercial for YouTube. So I hope you have like solid internet, James, because I'm basing a lot on you here. I'm just teasing. Kilo says they blacked out Hawaii with the EMP on that. Let me back up. What's oh, Manhattan Project? Or is that the name? Is that the name? Yeah, that's the name of the plan to build the nuclear bomb, the atomic bomb, the Manhattan Project. That's what he's talking about there. Thank you. James says Tesla emblem is like Op-Hiju. Oh, Operation High Jump. Yeah, you almost threw me with that shorthand, but you know what? You didn't take into account was my stepmom is a court stenographer. So I already am down with shorthand. So you didn't know that. But you tried to throw me a curveball, but I was right there for it. You know what I'm saying? But let me get more into the Jasons. That way this video can be about the Jasons, because it ain't really about anything. We're just hanging out. But the city's underground and the tunnel's underground, that's already there. And alternative three in this plan was to exploit alien and conventional technology in order for a select few to leave the Earth and establish colonies on the Moon and Mars. Now, one and two happened. Two is in place. One took place. Is alternative three in play? You know, a lot of the Corey Good stuff and the secret space stuff seems to say that it is. But looking deeper into the Jasons, they are a secret society that is considered to be at the very top of the Illuminati. Now, you would have to assume they would be. If they are the holders of all this secret knowledge and they are in control of all this knowledge and all this information, you would just assume that they would be at the pinnacle, you know, at the top of the Illuminati. But we're at this point we're talking about a conspiracy. So you got to remember, this is me researching something for conspiracy theories and chill. The Jasons, though, are real. They exist, and I'll get to that in a minute. But we're just talking about the story right now. But a lot of what I'm saying is true. I'll point out what's not and what is as we go. But the Illuminati stuff, that's if you believe that. I happen to. I host a conspiracy theory show, but you don't have to. So they are incredibly secret. They're still secret to this day. Their membership is secret. But they have never, listen to this now, ever had an internal leak. Ever. Now their original membership was only 32, but today um, they have over 65 members. They say 65, but you know it's like cockroaches. When you turn on the lights, you see one, there's 100 of them. So they say 65, whatever. Uh, I don't think there was just 32 in the beginning. I get into this later too, but if you think about 32 Jasons reporting to one president is 33. The Illuminati loves 33. That's like their favorite number. But again, I'm into the Illuminati stuff. We can get into that if you want, but right now we're just talking about the Jasons. So they are incredibly secret. None of their members are known. They do have a front organization. So there is a Jason group. I found that when I was researching them. You see them under different names. The Jason Group, the Jason Society, you see them just called the Jasons. The only thing that's really consistent is that Jason is always all caps. So the focus is always on Jason, that the symbolism of that. And William Cooper got more into the symbolism from the story. And I wish I'd have studied it more because it's not really in my notes. I didn't focus there. You know what I mean? Because what ended up being the most interesting element to me and where I focused was that this organization is real. This organization of scientists. And that got me thinking, well, what could you do with that? Think about that. That means that a secret organization of scientists of 65 when they were because the way that I found out this article that actually gave a lot of really good information into their existence and and all of that, and the Shell Corporation and all the things that exist came out because the Department of Defense was going to cut their funding in March of this year. So they were going to cut funding to the Jasons, but they had to release their membership list, not their list, but the membership numbers. They say 65, but this organization's weird. Like they were funded with a stipend um, of $500 a day, and that's unchanged. So if there's still adjacents working in this country, they're making $500 a day. There is still. I shouldn't say if. There is. That part's true. The what I'm going to speculate and what we're going to talk about in the video and what we're going to discuss later on and stuff like that and when we do the actual Jason's video is this is a secret society of scientists, elite side, the top scientists. These are going to be all your biggest names in science, all of your most esteemed professionals in the scientific community are Jasons probably. So, and they've never had a leak. They're obviously quite capable of keeping secrets. They have access to all information and all technology. It's widely known that we are 50 years behind what the government actually has. That if we were to see what the government actually has, what the technology they actually possess, or the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, what actually is out there, it would look like magic to us. The same way something from today would look like magic to someone from 1970. It just like our phones. It wouldn't make sense. Like, how does this even work? That's what I think UFOs are. And then they had them start researching and looking into that stuff. And that is ties into a lot of what Herbert turned me on to because that has to do with the secret space stuff. That has to do with technology existing and being discovered and then stolen and taken and researched, and that's what that has to do with. And that has to do with the Corey Goods, well, not directly, but in a way. They at least have five. They at least have a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon connection. But yeah, Herbert, 32 was the original number. David says, is that what she told you? Illuminati don't actually get along with each other so much. Illuminate. Oh. Is that what who told me? I don't think. Oh. I must have said something that goes along with that. David says they mostly operate like an outlaw biker gang. The Illuminati? Herbert says, I wonder what their thoughts on climate change are. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what their thoughts on climate. I'd have to ask them. Because they know everything. These guys know. They are but that's what I'm saying. So you could it makes all kinds of things possible. Like people want to say, how could you hide the moon landing? Well, when all of your top scientists are in a secret society, they all have a vested interest in pushing a narrative. They're keeping you 50 years behind. Things exist that we wouldn't even understand. And these people, the Jasons, it turns out they have a name. Is a secret society of scientists. And like I want to get into in the video when I make the actual Jason's video, is think about all the things in as far as technology and scientific advances and all of that go that are being kept from us that we know about, like free energy and cures to diseases, for example, and even the truth of our own individual potentials. Now, and just imagine what we don't know about. And then think of all those things that could be done for humanity with that stuff. And then finally realize that access to it is being kept from us by a secret society of scientists that lord over information. And you got to understand, these would be, like I said, they say 65, going to be the cockroach theory. There's going to be a lot more than that, but these are going to be all of your elite science people. So nothing is going to get funded, nothing is going to get researched, nothing is going to get put out in a textbook for sure that is not approved by these people. So, and they have a vested interest in keeping you from finding the secret knowledge. That's part of what they're about. They're not about sharing it with society. They're about guarding it, protecting it. Knowledge is power to these people. So that's scary to me. And that makes a lot of things possible. We, like I said, we know that they're hiding free energy, and probably there was a guy that invented a car that ran on water. You know, they have the ability to do things that are far beyond what's being done, and it's being hidden from us on purpose. And the way it's being done is they have all of the top scientists in a secret society. That is how you control the narrative, folks. This is it. This is where you point. Anytime someone says anything, how would they fake the moon landing, Sean? Um, every main scientist, every major elite scientist is in the secret society. You could do anything with that. You understand the power behind that. And it's real. The Jasons are real. Are they nefarious? That part is just me saying it, only based on why in the hell wouldn't they be? But I don't know. Who knows? It's interesting. And we're going to do a whole episode on conspiracy theories and chills. See, I didn't ruin it. There's more, but I'll tell you if you want. We'll get into it. I just wanted to get out when I could. I saw an out and I pulled out of it because I want you to watch it when I do the video. But it's interesting. I didn't even think I was going to do a video on them. It's an organization that I had heard about before. Like I said, William Cooper has talked about them a lot, and I like William Cooper, so I've heard about it through them or through him. And then I've been listening to a researcher, and he's been bringing them up. So that made it fresh, and it made me look into it recently. But when I stumbled upon that article, because like I said, the Department of Defense was going to cut funding in March, and they released a letter and everything, and to the point where they had told this place, the front organization, the Jason Group, that they had so many days to vacate their premises that they were pulling the plug on the whole thing. And they got a reprieve, and they'll get endless reprieves. You know how that works. But they must have showed up on a radar somewhere, and someone realized, hey, what's this? Why are we paying for this? And they had to pull the plug. And they, like I said, they ended up plugging it back in. They never actually pulled the plug on the program, but they publicly, because like no one reads the retraction. You see what I'm saying? It won't matter. So anyone that even saw this buried ass article that I found wouldn't even dig any deeper than that. So they're not going to do the follow up when the reprieve happens. They're not going to be like, oh well, oh they're still operating. And then a lot of people don't look at the bigger picture anyway. They don't realize with six, let's just say it's only 65. 65 of the top scientists in the fields, in all the different fields of science and research. Think of what you could do if you controlled them. And because they could control what the people below them do and what they're able to do and what they're even led to do or allowed to do, what research that they do, what they study, what they don't study, what's accepted, what gets mocked. You can control a lot, an endless amount. It's genius, really. It's genius. And is it being used in that way? Of course. It's my theory, but of course, absolutely. Why wouldn't it be? Why would you have it any other? There's no reason. You think it's all flowers and rainbows that they got good intentions? No. This this actually, and it made me laugh because they treat William Cooper like he's ridiculous. I was researching the Jasons before, and everywhere you look about them, they admit that they're there, but when you say anything nefarious, that they're doing anything evil or anything like that, or they're Illuminati or they have an agenda or anything like that, they put you in with UFOologists. That's why I stayed away from it because it's not that it's not important, and it's that they can muddy it up. They can bring in the aliens. Well, UFO don't always mean aliens. You see what I'm saying? But they slandered these guys every time they brought it up with the UFO stuff. But now the UFOs are mainstream. They released the what was it, the Air Force, wasn't it? Released videos of them pursuing UFOs, a fleet of UFOs. These are actual Department of Defense videos. And so it's mainstream now. They'd say they deal with it all the time. This stuff is real. And UFO doesn't, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean alien. Like we just covered the Battle of Los Angeles. Now, that may have been them shooting at the sky for 5 hours. It very well may have been. But it could have been something more. David says, Diggity, do you know it's about the fact that you believe you are a sentient biological organism? Stop fronting. He's right. We really should stop because we live in a computer simulation. No, I've been researching that too, and that's fascinating. That's a deep rabbit hole. That is one that if you've ever stumbled into, you may never get back out of. And Herbert says, who is this Cooper guy I speak of? You've never heard of Bill Cooper? William Cooper? The Hour of the Time? A legend. The man is a legend. One of my heroes. He did it was actually a small show on a shortwave radio, but it caught on. He was what Alex Jones was before Alex Jones. Like, I don't agree with everything William Cooper talked about, but he was right on about a lot of stuff. And he also has a really good book, Behold the Pale Horse, or I think that's what it's called. I gotta look and find it. I have it here somewhere. But I love Bill Cooper. He's great. And even the stuff like with Alex Jones, he's crazy. A lot of his stuff just goes way too far. And I think it's intentional. I think he's a misinformation agent. But with Bill, like it was some of the stuff I didn't agree with was the alien stuff. But he has good heart. You can tell the difference. You can tell the difference when somebody is putting on a show or when they have a good heart and they have good intentions and they're telling you what they really believe. But he was an independent journalist. He was one of the first. It's in the truth movement, one of the very first. And I really like Bill Cooper. I suggest you look him up. I have some of his videos. Well, not his videos. He don't have videos, but I have some of his audio put to pictures or just a still picture on my YouTube channel, on Me on Things and Stuff. Go look him up on the channel. I need to make them their own playlist so they're easier to find. I wanted to make it where I had like a whole library or at least a top 10, but I have 5 of them and they're full 45-minute to an hour episodes of the Hour of the Time. But that was the name of his show, The Hour of the Time. That's where I first heard of the Jasons, though. Hey, Chris. I can't tell if I'm seeing your name when you get here or if you've already been here. I don't know. But I try to say hi when I see names. Hey, Cameron. But comment and tell me anything you want. Anything you want to talk about. James says autoplay goes to UFO. Oh, really? give us some truth. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. They know that. That's why they call themselves the Illuminated. That's what that means. The Illuminati is the Illuminated. That means they have the knowledge. They know. And that's the power. And that's what I'm talking about. When I start realizing the power behind what you could do with a secret society of all the elite scientists, all the most respected, top of the fields, what you could do if you controlled them all, it's endless. Like, we literally could be, you'd have no idea what reality actually is in that kind of situation. It could be anything. So is anybody crazy? And how do you know? You know, some, a lot of times, really smart people sound crazy to stupid people. And super smart people can even sound crazy to smart people. But what goes to UFO? Autoplay? James says, I didn't hear about Cooper until the incident. Oh, when they killed him? Yeah. I choose to remember his broadcasting and like his book and all of that and the work he did towards the truth. There's discrepancies with, and I've thought about doing a video on him, and I would have to get into that stuff. But there's like I said, he's just a man, and there are things about him that I don't agree with. And as far as his politics, I didn't agree with, but I liked him. I felt like he had good intentions with what he was doing. But what autoplay goes to UFO, James? Let's see. Anybody here on Facebook want to talk about anybody? Helen says they killed him. Yeah, yeah. They have their own version of the story, but it had to do with him being drunk and reports of him waving a gun around, and he ended up getting shot in a shootout. Well, whatever. I feel like he was assassinated. That's what I think happened to Bill Cooper. The story that they give in a lot of those situations isn't the true story. Like what happened was that was right around the time of 9/11. Well, on his show, he had announced that it was right around that same time they had done a secret interview. I don't remember what network, but they had done this interview where they had went to the caves and interviewed bin Laden, and it was on on their TV network. And Bill Cooper said, "There's going to be something happen." He didn't say what, but he's like, "There's going to be something happen. I promise you, it's going to happen soon, and they're going to blame it on bin Laden." Next thing you know, 9/11 happens. Well, then Bill went crazy with it because he was right. They immediately blamed Osama bin Laden before they knew anything. So then he knew that 9/11 was BS from the very beginning, and he started pulling the curtain back on that. And that's why I think they killed him. And James says, I didn't hear about Cooper till the incident. And James says he gave a leg before he did his life. But I like Bill Cooper. I like his work, and I suggest that you listen to Hour of the Time. It's a great show. But he did it on shortwave radio. I've often thought that I may end up there. 'Cause I like doing this. I fell in love with doing it, but it's hard to do in a time when truth is being killed in real time, when nobody wants you to talk about things like this. Like, it's fun. We've been having fun talking about the Jasons. And does it go as far as I theorize? Maybe, maybe not. Is the potential there? Yes. But they want you to not even be able to talk about that. That's what they want. In their ideal situation, you can't even talk about stuff like that. There's no bringing up that stuff in the possibility that things didn't the way they're presented. Even though there's many reasons to question the way they're presented, especially in the way they're presented. There's many reasons to question most stories, but they don't want you to be able to. They want to shut it down. They want to close it down. So it gets hard when you're trying to do that and things like that are throttled and pushed down in the feeds. Like I don't even know what to call stuff anymore. I'm really bad with titles to begin with, but I never know what to call the videos. Herbert says you'd watch a video on Cooper. I got it. It's one of my topics planned out to do a video on, and I want to present the whole thing, and even the things that I don't like and things like that, just to get it all out there. But I really do believe they killed him, and I believe it was because he was on to something. He was on to pulling back the curtain and exposing 9/11 right at the beginning. So, but he had been right and exposed a lot of other things too. And he was mostly just a student of history. Herbert says, what the hell are the Democrats doing? Voting for the $800 billion military budget, the trade deal, votes for more spying, and this bogus impeachment where Trump's numbers have risen. What is really going on here? Um, there's a revolution happening in this country, is what's going on here, and they're doing all they can to stop it. Now, what they intend to do to stop it is to lose to Donald Trump. That's what they intend to do. And they intend to cause as much distraction up until that moment. And then they're secure for another 4 years because everything is safe under Donald Trump. And anybody who is anti establishment and doesn't see what's going on right now and doesn't immediately jump onto our train, onto this revolution and keep us going forward and make this change happen is a fool because it's happening right now. And that's what they're doing is they're showing their hand and they're letting you know that they will run this train right into the fucking wall before they let the people win. That they will do all they can to make sure that Trump gets another term before they let us win. That's what it's about. There is no impeachment prize. We don't win anything. We don't get anything special for it. There's nothing in it for us. Our fight doesn't change. You know what's our impeachment prize? President Pence? I don't think that's a very good impeachment prize. It doesn't pique my interest. It doesn't make me care about it. I don't really want, I'm not rushing to see President Pence. You know what I'm saying? And there's people that actually think there'll be a President Pelosi, that Nancy Pelosi will get it, that Pence will get impeached too, or whatever, and it'll go all the way to Nancy Pelosi. They're crazy with this shit. It's a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. It's diversion. It's distraction. That's all to stop us. It's all to stop the revolution that's happening. There is a revolution happening in this country right now. You can be part of it. You can find out how every day at 7 on my show, The Daily Burn, and I talk about it. It's happening right now. But another thing I wanted to get into for fun, because I'm doing one, I'm making a video about, I think I'm going to do the 100 best Mandela effect video. I'm going to go for 100. And I'm trying to make the list and narrow it down to 100, and I can't. I've got it down to like 115, but I'm having trouble. And then I know there's probably more that other people like that I haven't fit into my list and I haven't looked at because I did a feed recently about Mandelas and I found like 4 or 5 new ones in that feed during that feed. So the odds are there's many that I don't know about. But I love Mandela effects. And if there's any that you guys know about or any that you like, let me know because I want to include them in that video. I want to make sure it's real inclusive, gets everybody's favorites in there. Everybody that, you know, that I care about that watch these videos. That's who I care about, is you guys. I want to do what you want so that you like these videos and you come back and watch more of them. That's the point. That's the goal here. Herbert says, great answer. That's the truth. It's the truth. That's what they're doing, man. That's the bottom line. Herbert says they know the Senate will never pass it. It doesn't even matter. It's our fight doesn't change. We're still up against the same stuff. The establishment is still in power. The only candidate that's running right now that's anti-establishment and everything being done shows and proves it is Bernie Sanders. And he represents the people, and that's who they want to stop, is us. It's not even about stopping Bernie Sanders. But people support Trump because they think he's anti-establishment, as crazy as that is. I don't know what he's done to show you that or to make you think that. But I know people that deeply believe it. And there's a lot of people that do. Trump has massive support. That's something that people underestimate. Trump has massive support. James says, what the heck? LOL. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I do that. I read little non sequiturs and I got an itch. But I read them and then I get stuck on them. Like, what did he mean? I'm never going to figure out what he meant by that. But what do you guys want to get into? We talked about the impeachment. I almost started with the impeachment. The Berenstein Bears, Herbert, is definitely in the video. Because it is the Berenstain Bears. Now, that's what they say it always was, is the Berenstain Bears. It was the Berenstein Bears because I never knew how to say it. I never knew if it was Steen or Stein. That's one of my favorites. I actually think it should be called the Berenstein Effect because that's the biggest one for me. That's like number one on the list is the Berenstein Bears. That's been there for sure. Another one that's in there for sure is Kit Kat. The Dash and Kit Kat. Bugs the shit out of me. That's in there for sure. James says History Channel did a Black Tom thing. Did they really? Black Tom was in one of my Mandela videos. That's an interesting Mandela, Black Tom. The attack of Black Tom. A lot of people don't even know about that. That the Statue of Liberty was a victim of an attack. It wasn't an attack on the Statue of Liberty, but it was an attack nearby the Statue of Liberty and it was damaged. That's how the torch section got damaged. But that stuff is interesting. I love the Mandelas, and there's all kinds of good ones. Like, I almost did a video just on the movie ones. Like the Snow White one, Mirror, Mirror. Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, right? That's the way I remember it. Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. It's Magic Mirror. Magic Mirror on the Wall. It's not the way I remember it. Another good one from the movies is, you know the Wizard of Oz, the Scarecrow? He has a gun. He always did. I didn't know that. Never noticed a gun before. The gun is new to me, and I'm not alone. But there's a lot of movie ones. Um, there's this one's a big one in a movie one. In The Matrix, you know that famous meme where Morpheus is saying, "What if I told you?" That's not in the movie. So that's more of a misremembering than a Mandela, but it's interesting. Yeah, James says when in 1916 German guys attacks on Lady Liberty. Yeah, man, I don't know why. I think something bit me, y'all. I'm itching really bad in one particular spot. I don't know what it is. But Helen says a reporter went to Ukraine for interviews in Shorkin. The guy Biden got fired, I think, says he's ill from an attempted poisoning. Motherfuckers. Oops. I've cussed like 17 times. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm apologizing, but because it's accident. But when you're super smart, and this is science now. This is not me making this up. But when you're super smart, you tend to cuss more and you're messy. These are science facts. So, me having a dirty car and a dirty mouth just means I'm super smart. That's all. That's just science. That's nothing but science, y'all. But James says it's a dog and pony show distraction. The impeachments, absolutely. Absolutely. And there is no prize. President Pence is not a good prize. And then even if they got their grand prize, President Pelosi, come on, y'all. That ain't gonna happen anyway. But Helen says the impeachment stuff is wild. I'll tag you. Oh, in that. Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't been watching it at all. I don't care. Like, cause I'm involved in the other fight, and just that fight doesn't change. No matter what happens in the impeachment, that fight stays the same. It all stays consistent. I don't haven't paid any attention. Herbert says, does the Mandela effects prove alternative realities and universes? It can, and then it can also. I think what's causing the Mandelas is the stuff that they're doing at CERN. But that's my own theory. There's all kinds of theories on what is making the Mandelas happen. And then there's also the theory that they're not happening at all, that we're just misremembering it all in mass, which is weirder to me for whatever reason. And these same people will say, oh, there's a 1 in a billion chance that we don't live in a computer simulation. But yeah, it's impossible that that's being altered. I don't understand that shit. These people, they pretend that they're so intelligent. They'll say stuff like that. They'll be like, oh, you're crazy. You're crazy to believe in Mandela effects. You're crazy to believe that CERN could be altering reality. But yeah, there totally could be other realities, other dimensions. They'll say stuff like that. We could live in a computer simulation. We could be in a computer simulation, but it can't be manipulated. I think what the truth is that we don't understand reality, and that's what's being hidden from us is the true nature of reality, and we don't know what that really is. So anybody walking around with their chest out that think that they know everything is just fooling themselves because you don't. You can't. Maybe even if you were adjacent, could you still, even then, could you know everything? I don't know. Brett says, hey, Brett, I thought misremembering was the Mandela effect. Yeah, yeah, that's the one. Um, my wife is the same way. She doesn't experience any Mandelas. She doesn't. Every time I'm like, oh my God, here's another one. She's like, I remember it that way. That's the way I remember it. It's always been that way. It drives me nuts because it's maddening. But she doesn't experience any of them. I do. Not all of them. Not all of them. Like there's one right here um, that Jackie killed Kennedy. Do you know that's a Mandela? Did people actually remember it that way? They remember Jackie killing Kennedy? I don't experience that one. There's lots of them. What's another one I don't experience? Oh, this one I get it, but I think it's mismemory. The Henry VIII painting. That famous painting where he's standing there in the big his royal gown or whatever. Well, in people's memory, they got him holding a turkey leg. That's because in a lot of cartoons, that's the way it's portrayed. But he's not holding a turkey leg. He never was. That's just mismemory. But I don't remember where I was going because I looked at comments. Oh, James says, I typed distraction and then sent, and you said distraction. CERN is too ready to own Mandela effects. Oh, you think so? They like being creepy. CERN loves to be creepy. CERN is creepy as hell. That is a creepy organization. I don't know why they do it. Could be weird marketing. They're definitely creepy. And everything else that I would say about CERN would be speculation because I'm not a scientist. I'm not qualified to give a real opinion. I don't think they should be messing with what they're messing with, but that's my own thoughts. Herbert says, didn't we have Mandela effects before CERN, and how would CERN do this? I don't know. I feel like with what I know, and it's limited, it, you could just about fit it on the tip of a pin, is they're messing with the Higgs boson particle. Now, what that is the God particle. That's the thing that holds all matter together. They don't understand it. They're messing with that. I think that's dangerous. And a lot of really smart people, like Stephen Hawking, was very against what they're doing at CERN. And that something about that they could unfold reality. I don't remember exactly what the fears are. They're people that are smarter than me are afraid of what they're doing there. And they say that they're wanting to open up portals to other dimensions. I don't think that that should be something you're doing, and I don't know that they can even do that because they like being creepy. You see what I mean? So is that part of the creepy thing, or can they really are they really trying to do that? So I don't know. Brett says you blow up if you know everything, like in that documentary about that guy in Indiana Jones. Oh yeah, your face melts off. You can't know everything. But the Mandelas are fascinating, so I'm gonna do another one, and I think I'm gonna go for the long 100. But there's some that I know are in there for sure, and like Kit Kat, Berenstain Bears, and then this new one's bugging the shit out of me. I just found this, the Flintstones. It's the Flint Stones. There's another T in there that we have never been pronouncing. I say was never there, but that's an interesting one. This one's in there for sure too. C3PO's silver leg. He did not have a silver leg, but now he does. And there exists stuff like toys, old toys, and old merchandise with the all gold C3PO. But they say that's all mistakes. I say it's because they missed things when they made changes. The most likely explanation for the changes would probably be the simulation theory, though. Alters in the code, like from the movie The Matrix. James says, I've got a list of them, and one video looks like Jackie did it. She's definitely getting away from something that happened nearby her. There is theories that it was the driver. I've seen that theory. But I like this other theory that the shot came from the sewage drain, and I think she was trying to get away. But I don't know. I was surprised to see that there was a theory that Jackie had done it. But James says they're getting new hardware. All these things fit together. Got a list of Mandelas. Yeah, there's some really good lists out there. Like there's an archive I like to look up, and they post pretty regular. And I like to follow the thread on Reddit. And but I don't understand Reddit. Reddit's weird, and it's not very friendly. It's not user friendly, and you get in trouble. You get little slaps on the wrist if you do stuff too often, or you try to comment too much. They'll give you a little slap on the wrist and be like, they'll actually give you a message that says you're doing that too much. Try again in 6 minutes. It's ridiculous, like you're a small child. But what do you guys want to get into? Anything at all? Let me know. Anything at all. And we can kick it around. We talked about the Jasons. We talked about Mandela's. And let me know your favorite Mandelas. Like whatever you like, your favorite ones that you want to see included in the video, because I'm going to do 100 this time. The most I've ever done before, I think, was 25. I'm going to go for a list of 100. And then I think I'm going to put Mandela to bed for a little while on the YouTube channel. But I love them. I think they're so fun. I don't know if I want to do an A to Z or what style I'm going to do it. But I almost did an only movies one, like I said. I just like them. But I don't see, and let me see. What happened? Oh, we just buffered a little bit, it looked like. I thought it crashed. But this has just been a fun little feed. We were just hanging out. Thank you to everybody who came and hung out with us. And if you liked it, share that link that I put in the comments to the YouTube channel and get it out and share the YouTube channel and get people to join, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks for hanging out with me. I had a good time hanging out with you guys. Hopefully, you had a good time and you'll come back next time. See you later.